welcome back to a brand new episode of the Bold American Podcast, the Beat Navy episode of the Bold American Podcast.
Wait,
presented by Barstool Sports. Wait, what?
you can't jump in right away and do, like, I knew you were going to do
I
that.
just did. Okay. Listen, it's Beat Navy week. It's the Army Navy game on Saturday. I got a sheet in front of me with a whole mess of topics. Listen, there was a very cool law that was signed for the Medal of Honor recipients who will now get $67,500, which is a massive bump up from their previous stipend that they got. It used to be $1,400 a month. Now they're going to get $5,600 a month. That's awesome. We could talk about the college football playoff and all that, but things are going on in Russia and Ukraine. Yep. Things are still going on in Venezuela. But I mean, let's just be honest. Are you guys thinking about any of that stuff? Or are you wholly focused on this game on Saturday? Let's be honest with each other.
I'm focused on the game for sure, but it's not right. Beat Navy week. Again, you're not going to gang up the two of you. Like, that's not what this episode is going to be. So, but this is Army Navy week. We can call it it's Army Navy week. It's Army Navy week.
If that makes you feel better and it helps you sleep at night, that's fine. But the fact is there's two guys wearing Army gear and one lady wearing a Navy sweatshirt. And listen, Sun Tzu, law of war. If you can have two people versus one, it's always better. He said something like that. And he said, if you can beat Navy, beat Navy. Sun Tzu said that. Look it up. It's in the book.
Sun Tzu would have been upset last year.
Clausewitz said that too.
No. All right. Hey, listen. All right. Let's start it off from this angle. And this is just me selfishly plugging something that I wrote today because I think this is a good jumping off point.
Yep.
Today I wrote a blog about why we need the Army Navy game now more than ever. We saw this weekend how the college football playoff committee things shook out, who's in, who's not in, reasons for who's in, reasons for who's out. None of it makes sense. We've been dealing now for a few years now with NIL, with the transfer portal, the whole mess with these coaches leaving before the season ends and needing to get to their new school because of the transfer portal timing and taking guys and poaching coaches from their schools. And this once fantastic, beautiful, I'm not going to say untainted because there are always bad things about it, but this beautiful game of college football that we love is becoming more and more unrecognizable by the day. And so many people that are challenged to be stewards of the game and have massive platforms have seemingly a lot of them thrown up their hands and said, this is just what it is. We have to deal with all the revenue. We have to deal with paying players. And this is the way the game's going. It's becoming just the NFL junior. And if you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. There's nothing. We can't stop this freight train that's powering forward. And to that, I say, I don't agree. I think there are ways that we can preserve the game of college football and put some guardrails on. Now, I'm not like, hey, old man at the cloud, like I don't want college football to ever change. I understand the game is evolving, the paying of players, the transfer portal, all of those are very real things. But I think amidst all of that, we are forgetting that the vast majority of these guys are never going to play professionally. And the vast majority aren't getting big NIL deals. The average NIL works out to be $1,000 per
it's like
player.
Chipotle burrito bowls.
What is that? What
so like, that? Like players were getting like free meals for like.
Oh, okay, yes,
yeah. Like they were getting paid in like fucking food and beverage.
Yeah. No, right. I don't know that it's as crazy as people want to make it out to be. It is still crazy, but then you look at the Army Navy game on Saturday, what it represents, the tradition, the pageantry, who's playing in the game, what their majority of these guys, if not exclusively all of them, are going to do after they go graduate, when they go put on a uniform and serve in our military. It is different and unique for so many reasons. There's no other game in this country where year in and year out, the president of the United States is probably going to make an appearance. Now, I'm sure if you look back at the last 50 years, the president hasn't been in every game, but the president, whoever that person has been, has made it to a heck of a lot of Army-Navy games. That's not the case for, Auburn, Alabama. That's not the case for Michigan, Ohio State. All right. This game is special. And right now it can be this beacon of hope for the rest of the college football world to take a step back and say, what did we love about college football? Oh, it's all the things that Army-Navy has. And that's what we have in front of us on Saturday. So amidst all the chaos of college football, amidst all of the chaos of the last 48 hours, the last few weeks of college football, how are you guys feeling going into Army-Navy?
I actually love that you started off that way, Connor, because again, listen, I'm not going to lie. I've had people like texting me, like, how do you deal with him on a daily basis with like
about me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
I had a text this morning, in fact.
Oh my God.
Someone at 8 a.m.
Everyone can see Connor's face right now. He is so happy with that statement.
Text came in and it said, what did they write? I was like, oh, that was an interesting way to wake up. It said, does Connor have an apartment on his moral high horse when it comes to football?
I don't even know what that means.
I don't really know what it means either, but somebody woke up just thinking about you and
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a compliment.
Yeah. No, it wasn't a compliment. I don't think it was meant as a compliment. Even my daughter was like, God, Connor really hates Navy football. And, here's the thing. We go back and forth and it's a lot. And I know you have a different perspective. We've talked about this before. You do have a different perspective. But I hope, and I read what you wrote today and I thought it was great. And it was about college football in general. But I also think it's more than that. Like, I think we all have a deep appreciation for what this game represents. Right. And that's like the beauty in it. And I always say that if you have not experienced, and I always try to find people that have never experienced an Army-Navy game. And I'm like, you got to come. Right. I'm bringing people this year that have never been to Army-Navy. And
I am too. I'm so excited. It's so much fun because it's almost like when you have children and you rewatch a movie with your child for the first time.
Yeah. And they get to see it.
Their eyes. Yes.
Yeah. And so like, I love all the pageantry. I love everything it represents. Like, and I love like someone like Jocko, he comes to our tailgate every year. And every year I do the like, who do you got? Who are you rooting for? And every year he says, and I love the way he says it because he's like, he was a Navy SEAL and he's like, I fought with the Marines. I fought with the soldiers. Like, I love them all. And like, I love this day. And guess what? Jocko's first Army-Navy game was just a few years ago. I brought him to that game and he has now come back. I think this is his 5th year in a row because he loves it that much. And so for me, I love what this game represents, not just to college football, but to our country as a whole. It's such a unifier. And I think at the end of the day, when you're there, like it represents all that is great about this country. Mm-hmm. I don't know. They're just like, it's my favorite day of the year. No matter the outcome, it's always my favorite day of the year. It really is. So
you don't care if Navy loses?
Of course I care if Navy loses, but yeah, I do care.
All right, better question. If Navy loses, does that sour your day at all? Or you're like, this is a great day no matter what?
I don't leave the game crying like you do. No, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna still have a good
All
time.
right, let's pump the brakes. I cried my senior year because I was never going to play football again. I haven't cried since. Listen, I'm not ashamed of crying. Yes, I was despondent last year.
Fine. Despondent. He was despondent.
We came off such a great week the weekend before, and then I go into that game thinking things are going to go our way, or at least, close game, and then it just didn't feel good from the start.
But here's the thing. Here's my question, and then I'll let Rob answer your original question. But my question to you is, so last year, we all know, I've talked about it before, Connor sat with me last year, and fourth quarter, I sniped a picture of him with his head hanging down. He was with a lot of Navy fans, but he left. He was like, I
went down to the field.
Okay,
I didn't want to be amidst Navy fans anymore.
But I asked Connor to sit with me again this year, and he declined the invitation.
Wow.
And what that leads me to believe is that there is some doubt in your mind on how this game is going to turn out. Because if you had the confidence you claim to have, I would think you would want to sit with me and gloat and so I'm thinking you kind of know what the outcome of this game is going to be before we even show up there.
Rob, do you want to say your piece and then I can react to that?
No, I kind of want to hear you answer that.
Okay. There are different circumstances this year. And
what's that?
Well, I didn't want to burden you by, saying, hey, I'm going to have multiple people that I would then bring to your suite. I didn't want to be rude because at West Point we're taught manners and customs and courtesies. So I wanted to be mindful of that because there is a suite isn't like unlimited. You can't have 70 people in there.
That's fair. Yeah.
So that's number one. Number two, I perfectly enjoyed my time in your suite last year. Aside from the game, like all the people in there are all very nice, and I enjoyed that. It was just a different set of circumstances this year, and I had an opportunity, given who I'm going to the game with, to sit somewhere else, and so I took.
So it has nothing to do with your thoughts
what I think is going to happen in the game. No, gosh, if things are going well, I'll come right over to that suite real quick, and you'll know I'm there. And let me react to everyone thinking that I'm the worst thing to ever happen there on the Navy side, and I hate Navy football. I've made my thoughts known. I would say, as I am with just about every aspect of my life, I'm very emotional. I'm very spirited, and to say that would just disappear for football would be silly. The people I probably can't stand the most are the people like on social media, either zero affiliation with the football program or they didn't even go to Navy. Sometimes they did. And then they just chirp at me relentlessly. And that doesn't bother me because, again, I don't really care what their opinion is, but it's just annoying. I would love for them to go get a new hobby. And then there's this other guy, and I'm not even going to say his name because actually I don't know his name. I think he's a plebe on the football team. Either that or...
Oh, yes, please. I was waiting for you to bring this up. It was on one of my items to talk about.
This kid is like constantly in my mentions talking trash to me. And I'm like, my dude, like, you weren't even a thought in your dad and mom's head the first time I started going to Army Navy games. You haven't even been a part of one of these yet. You got to earn the right to start talking trash. You got to have some notches in your belt before you start coming at me and talking like you've been part of this for 30 years. So that was just silly on that kid's part because, as anybody can tell you, there's a lot that goes into a rivalry, and you got to earn the right, I think, to be part of that rivalry. And you don't come in first year. And this kid doesn't even dress, by the way. He's not like, I don't know where he is on the depth chart or anything.
Like a manager or something?
No, he's not a manager. He's a player, but every game he's been in the stands. So I never saw a single football game at Army from the stands. I was on the field for every game.
What was he saying again?
Oh, and that's not important. But I
Okay.
mean, he just like he's in the mix talking.
But why
trash
does
to
it
me.
bother you that he's talking trash? You talk trash all the time. Why
Yes,
can't he
because-
talk trash back to you?
because
it
Ryan-
doesn't. He doesn't rape because he's not on the field.
Yes,
Is that what
and
you're saying?
he's way too new to the rivalry. Yes, there are rules. There are rules and customs and courtesies as it pertains to rivalry. I put another tweet out today. My first Army-Navy game was 1993. Jesus, how many years ago was that? Do the math. 32 years ago, right? That's how long I've been invested in this game. And then, on top of that, as a player and then as a grad assistant coach. So, and now as a former player, a fan. So like I've been in the trenches. I had to suffer
So
through
you're
all
saying
those
you got to
losses.
you're saying someone on the Navy football team dress or doesn't dress, they don't rate to talk shit to you.
No.
I think that's crazy.
I think he looks like a complete moron.
Okay.
So that's how I think.
Well, I've
Anyway.
never played Navy football. I've never played.
Right, but Ryan, no, it doesn't have to be like you went there or you played. You have been a part of this rivalry for a very long time now. You have a direct connection to the game. You're different. And even if your family didn't exist, how many Army-Navy games have you been to now?
A shit ton.
Right. And you've been rooting for Navy for all those years. So you've earned the right to be part of the trash talking, which, listen, I don't want anyone to get this confused. I don't talk trash to like hurt anybody's feelings, to be disrespectful. It's all in good fun. So if anybody thinks I'm taking it a little too seriously, I would disagree with that.
Sometimes you do. You've said some things that have you've made some accusations about Navy football that were
Are accusations or statements of fact? Those are two different things.
Let's hear from Rob.
What's the original question again? Sorry.
What did you think of Connor's really nice piece of unity around the Army-Navy game?
That's right. Yeah. So I'll just give fuck the last 72. I'll just talk about what I think about the game. Similar to Connor, I mean, I think I went to my first Army-Navy game when I was 4. My father's an alumni. My father swam at West Point, and then he was involved with sprint football. I don't know if it was like a manager or playing. Anyways, I went to my first Army-Navy game. I think it was in Philly, and it was raining and it was freezing cold, and I was a little kid, and we won that year, I think. So it's personal for me too. I'm just looking at the comments on my Twitter. And some people are calling me really bad names. And it's just like, I love it though. I love it. Like, it energizes me. It fuels me. And it looks like every year that Army-Navy happens, the rivalry and the spirit and the camaraderie and the hate for one another all starts like a day earlier. Like Army-Navy technically kicks off Sunday night for both academies. It actually started like a few weeks ago. Like, people are starting to talk shit. The content's coming out. The content's leaking. The uniforms are unveiled, I think in mid-November, right? For Army. Which I love. So fans can get their gear. They can kind of rally behind the merch. They can, Fanatics doesn't mess anything up. And you can kind of just like embrace the rivalry a little more. And now that it's in Baltimore, which is, kind of unique, it's only in Baltimore, like Connor, like every 10 years or something, or
the last one was 2016.
And we broke the streak there. So there is there's an affection there for wonderful Charm City, I think it's called. Shout out to the nickname Charm City for Baltimore. But look, it's Monday night. We're recording this Monday night, East Coast and Pacific time. The game is in like 5 or 6 days, and we're wearing our fucking Spirit gear 6 days ahead of kickoff. And it's like, tensions are going. And it's like, you can't beat that. Like, you can't beat that anywhere else. And on game day or even the night before, it gets serious. It's gonna be heated but fun in Baltimore. We'll keep each other warm, but there's nothing like Army-Navy. And to Connor's earlier point about taking people who have never been to the game, what's also really cool, and I think Connor, you'll agree, and Ryan, you'll probably see this. You've seen this, is like graduates who haven't been to a game since they were cadets or midshipmen. When they first go back to, it's just like Christmas again for a 4-year-old, right? It's like going with the right people really makes or break Army Navy, I think. And sometimes it is better to go with a smaller group who hasn't been before. But long story short, I'm fucking so excited for Saturday. And I'm going sober. This is the first year I'm going sober, alcohol-free, raw dogging it since I was a child. And so like I'm feeling like a little kid again. Anyways, that's my rant.
Yeah. I agree with you about the spirit of it all. I think it adds to it.
Yeah.
My where I take umbrage with the Navy people is I think with them, like they come at me and it feels like there's that vitriol, whereas like I don't even like go out a lot of these people, and everything I say to most people is pretty playful and in the spirit of the rivalry. So I'm really just talking about the weirdos on social media who, again, are sitting behind burner accounts who say like really stupid and weird things to me and even worse things on my DMs. But I think that just like you said, Rob, it goes to the spirit of the rivalry, I guess. But it's just weird how I've seen an uptick of that. So I guess, I don't know, maybe I'm pushing a lot of buttons and I don't realize it.
I've actually
social
seen it
media amplifies the personal attacks too.
Yeah.
I think it definitely, I've been in this game for a minute, content creating wise and posting content. So have you, Connor. Ryan, I don't think you get as satirical and
no, I try to
push
keep
the button
it
as like we do, but I'm not gonna name names, but to Connor's point, I definitely see the hate and like the personal stuff come more from Navy. And I say that with all love and admiration, but like the personal attacks come more from the Navy side. And you don't really see that from the Army side, because I see all comments. There's some assholes on our side too, for sure. But like the bots and like the craziness and the chatter, the late night chatter that's on Twitter or Instagram is 100% unhinged, wacko Navy alumni or weird fans. 100%.
See, I'm not in that world. I'm in the world of like posting pictures of my daughter from the Navy
as
when
you
she
should
was
be.
8 years old, and like, you know, like just my love of the game and of both academies,
you're
frankly.
like too pure for Twitter. That's why, like,
I don't really
will never work out.
No.
Meanwhile, Rob and I are over here in the mud.
Dude,
Yeah.
we're in the
I'm not, but I am seeing a lot of hate for you, Rob. Like I see personally people say stuff to me about Connor, like, what the hell's up with that guy? But I see it more online about you. Like,
for sure.
Navy Barstool's coming after you hard because
they call me a liar. I was like, what?
They are claiming and they posted like all our goats are present and accounted for. And
I said we have the goat. Clearly from
but you don't have the goat.
For everyone's awareness, why this is so funny. This is classic Navy. I published a video from a cadet that was sent to me of cadet leadership at West Point walking out the Army mule. Army Barstool, same thing. We all know, everybody knows it's not the goat. That's what's so funny about this. Like, the goat is a therapy goat from the farm in Fort Montgomery.
Yeah, but you say that and everybody doesn't know it's not the goat. That's not that you say everybody know.
He doesn't, but he didn't say we have Navy's goat. We said we have the goat.
And it's just like everyone knows that's not Bill or any of those goats.
No, don't, because I saw it and I was like, holy shit, did they get one of the goats?
That was the point. That was the point.
That's the
point. Get people riled up.
Tom Hanks is going to win the Thayer Award. It's like everybody knows that this is just a fucking joke and it's here to hype people up and piss off Navy fans who are all in the comments on my content. That's not the GOAT. Ha ha ha. The cadets suck. Ha ha ha. Like, no shit, dude. We know that. It's just part of our spirit process. It's like everything is taken so personal. Like if the Naval Academy walked out with an Army mule and they like burned an A into the back and it was like a white mule and they said, we got the mule. Army fans would be like, good job. Like, you tried. Like, cool. Have fun. But like, we wouldn't go personal. We wouldn't go like embellish all this shit. Like, it's just so funny. Like, Navy just takes it so
well, but also like, Ryan, like we're friends. We've spent time outside of the show, plenty of time, and you've seen me with Navy people. Am I ever disrespectful or am I anything other than playful?
No, 1000%. No,
Right.
it's a yeah, and frankly, I know Rob would be the same way. And yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think there are people that truly believe that, how you guys show up on Twitter is how you show up in real life. And I can attest to that is not the case at all.
Flip that.
So yeah, I will give you guys that. Listen, even when I'm so tentative about, obviously I'm cheering for Navy. I want, but even like when I posted today, like I put up a really heartfelt post about
That was
what, listen, I'm a parent, I'm a parent of a midshipman. So I come from a bit of a different perspective in terms of like the pride I feel when I watch midshipmen and cadets, in that stadium and what they represent to this country. But even when I wrote that this morning, I was a little bit like, I had to put "Go Army Beat Navy," and I was like, and I saw, and I did.
Wait, you wrote "Go Army Beat Navy"?
I mean, "Go Navy Beat Army."
Oh,
shit. Go Navy.
Wow,
Beat Army.
clip that.
Don't clip that. No.
Oh, man, that's too bad that you said that.
wow.
God
Wow.
damn it.
That's not AI or anything. You actually
Shit.
said those words. Oh man.
It's starting to get in their head.
We're gonna put that everywhere.
Connor, our psyop is working.
No.
What we're doing is working.
Yeah. Yep.
I quit.
That's what
Sorry.
happens. You spend so much time with amazing, good-looking West Pointers that you start to say what's really on your mind.
That was fantastic. No, listen, I think it's interesting too because, I hate even bringing it up. I hate bringing it up. But obviously the streak happened. I can't erase history. That the streak happened. It sucked. It sucked, honestly, also too, just from a rivalry standpoint. Nobody wants to, see a rivalry get lopsided like that for that many years. But then I think now it's gone back the other way, where if you look at the last 10 years, 10 games or 9 games, like Army's up 6-3. So we've kind of like taken the mantle away from them. So I think there's a lot of Navy people that are mad about that, and that's reflected in their comments towards me that Army's had the upper hand for the majority of the last decade. More CICs, more wins head to head. So I think that just causes people to get really in their feels and get emotional.
Connor, you know what I think it is too? And like I said, I've been doing this for 10 plus years. And before that, as a cadet, and when Facebook started, so I've seen the content, I've seen it trickle out in the early, 2010s. I think Army is just so much more ahead of the game creatively when it comes to this game. And by that, I mean, we put more time and effort and like strategy into the weekend, the games events. I'm not talking like the wonderful Travis Manion Foundation tailgate. I'm talking like the esprit de corps, the vibe, the essence of Army Navy. We put so much more thought into it, and we kind of get ahead of it before Navy fans do. And it always catches Navy fans off guard. That's why I think the attacks on social are almost borderline personal, is because they're thinking about Army Navy once we sent the wave of infantry and cavalry and artillery. They're always caught fucking, looking at their phones like, oh, it's Army Navy weekend.
Wait, give an example of that. Give an example. I don't give some context
to it. It's like the GOAT thing. Like last night, it's like everyone's upset because Navy can never do anything that is even close to the level of Army.
Well, in Navy's defense, it's a lot harder to steal a mule, though, too.
Yeah, but it's also spirit rallies, like just hanging up banners at West Point, doing something online. Maybe having some content of alumni, past alumni that's really catchy and trendy. there's just, I don't know. It's just kind of like Navy just misses the mark a little bit creatively when it comes to this week. That's all.
I don't know. One of my favorite things back in the day was when I remember when my kids were young, we would love to watch like the Army Navy Spirit videos, like the Spirit spots. Like they don't really do those as much anymore. And they were so fun to watch.
They're
And
always so funny and then so well done.
They were always so well done, like on both sides, but we loved watching those. And that was kind of, I mean, that was before social media was like real big.
That's one of the few like things that is really fun when you watch the game on a TV is you can see all those commercials because they're planted in by CBS. No, you can see.
No, I think we're talking. You can only see they would only ever play them in the stadium, and then they'd get circulated before the game. This doesn't have anything to do with the game broadcast on CBS. But you're
Rob,
right, Ryan.
You're too young, Rob. You don't know about these.
And it's weird because you would think it'd be more so prevalent now because everyone has a phone. Back in the day, people were doing this on like digital cameras and stuff.
Right.
And making the Spirit videos. So I distinctly remember the Spirit videos, and there were some that were just incredibly, really well done that you would think like that person's a real life director with that idea. And it's very impressive.
Connor, I think when you were there, because I was in high school when I saw this, it was like the Barracks linebacker. Was that
Terry Tate?
Dude, that is still, I think that's S tier when it comes to Spirit videos. That's like iconic.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into the nuts and bolts, though. What do we think about the game itself? Like Ryan, we'll start with you. Like, what do you think about the matchup, about Navy's team, about their players? How do you think they match up against the Army? Like, how do you feel going into the game?
I mean, I feel really, really good. More than really good. Listen, I am not naive, especially with what happened last year with Army season coming in. I had zero expectations for Navy last year, and I kind of entered in just being like, whatever. And I don't think a lot of people did in a lot of ways. Like, you guys were on a roll, right? You were undefeated.
Did Nate Horvath play QB last year for Navy?
Yeah.
Okay,
he was the quarterback.
Okay, got it. So
but as we all know, it literally does not matter.
Correct.
What the records are going into this game. It doesn't matter. This game will go the way it's going to go, and that is another reason that makes this game and this rivalry so it's unique in that way, right? Like you see this, you see a team coming in with an undefeated season and then get horse stomped by Navy last year. I mean, that's what happened. I mean, it
was not ideal.
Yeah. I do believe Navy's going to win. I think it's going to be 17-13.
Okay.
Maybe. As always, it's always a pretty low scoring game. I've seen some predictions that have been kind of wild, like 6-3 Navy, like really, really low.
There was a year when I was a cadet, it was like 9-6 or something.
Yeah.
Final result. Like it's been done.
But that's my prediction, 17-13 Navy. I don't know if you were asking for an actual score prediction, but that's what I'm giving out.
Okay, Rob.
It's looking like it's a little chilly on Saturday, but I think our boys are going to pull through. By our boys, I mean Army, of course. I think our quarterback Helms is gonna have a good day. Noah Short, one of our top playmakers, will have a great day. Our defense will hold through. Shout out to Cody Harris on the D line. I'm saying 28-21 Army. I think it's going to be kind of slow in the first half. It's going to be a shootout in the second half. And then we'll win. We'll sing second.
Okay. I think the weather can play a factor. I think the cold will Navy's shown this year that they can put the ball on the ground. By the way, I went back and I didn't remember this. I was looking at the 2016 game. There were 7 fumbles in that game, 5 of which were lost. I didn't remember the ball being on the ground as much as it was that year. But I think, certainly the cold can impact how the game can go. I think Navy's going to, Horvath will determine what's going to happen with Navy. I think what you will see is the play calling of Navy's OC Chronic that has been so successful this year. I think you will see that stymied a little bit, compared to other opponents, because I think you have that factor of knowing how to stop and prepare for them. I think, listen, Navy's got a lot of guys who can make a lot of plays.
Yeah.
They have the ability to make explosive plays. I would say Army has the ability to contain those explosive plays. And if they can do that, they can certainly beat this team. This doesn't feel to me like we're walking into this game and this is like an insurmountable team. I'll say it. I love the fact that Army is not favored to win the game.
Yep.
Navy has all the pressure because let's talk facts. Navy was having a nice year. Then they were hoping, praying, because I was following all the discourse, hoping and praying that they were going to find their way into the conference championship game somehow. That didn't work out. So this is what they have to play for now, the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. So I think they're going to be pressing because the national attention that they got out this year, like Army did last year, none of that means anything if they don't get the CIC. So I think there is a real possibility that Navy comes into this game a little overconfident, maybe presses a little bit, and Army can punch him in the mouth, catch him overconfident, punch him in the mouth, and put them into a street fight. And I don't get the impression from Navy that they like street fights. Whereas I think that's part of Army's identity is
Nasty.
We go toe-to-toe, bare knuckle with you. Navy wants to throw the ball. Navy wants to have explosive plays. And I've watched a lot of Navy football this year. I think maybe I was telling you guys, like I was watching the Navy-Memphis game on Thanksgiving and my wife's like, why are you watching that game? I'm like, well, first of all, like, Jesus, it's football. But secondly, like we're getting ready to play Navy. So like, I want to see what they're doing. I think that they want to beat you with play calling and with speed, and they don't want to get into a fight. So if we can, drag them into a trench and get into a fight with them, I like our chances. I think, if you just like look at the players, we have guys that match up with Navy, but certainly, as I said, they have really explosive players on offense, less so on defense, I think. And I think Navy has made a season out of scoring a lot of points. And if we can not let them score points, really groundbreaking analysis there, it's going to be a much closer game than I think people are going to give it credit for. The other thing I love, I think it was a college football show on another network that shall not be named. All of their analysts pick Navy to win. That's never a good sign.
Well, that's
never good. You never want to see across the board a team getting picked because that always gets cropped and replayed.
Yeah, and listen, there's something powerful about coming in as the underdog, especially with a season as bad as Army has had this year. So
one more thing. Last year we had back-to-back games. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, no, but 6-5 is not like a bad year. It's not a great year, but like if we came in and we had like 2 wins, like we were Air Force, like then I'd be like, okay, that's not great. That's a bad year. But like 6-5 is not bad. I mean,
I thought I was gonna let that slide. I thought that was gonna slide by.
Like,
I was waiting.
The Commander-in-Chief's trophy is on the line, right? Like,
of course.
It's not like this was a foregone conclusion. They already won the Commander-in-Chief's trophy, so. this is important. This game is big, and I think that's another thing. When that trophy is on the line,
Yeah.
it takes things up a notch.
What's your score prediction?
20-10 Army.
Okay.
2-0, 1-0.
Yeah. Because all right, I'm gonna say something, and this is gonna have people annoyed at me.
Say it.
I think Blake Horvath is a very nice player. Certainly better at the position than I ever was. Okay. He has a litany of records across the Navy record book. He was named a Heisman finalist, although let's see if he actually gets any votes like our boy did last year. That's yet to be seen. I don't know that he's the passer that people make him out to be. I think his passing statistics are more a byproduct of Chronic calling good plays and guys being wide open versus like him fitting passes into tight windows and really sitting in a pocket. Like he's usually throwing on the run. And again, guys are wide open. So I think if we can prevent those dudes from running wide open, he doesn't have as great of a day passing the ball. That's my prediction.
Nice.
Okay. Well,
okay. Okay. Okay.
Holy shit.
That was emphatic. But yeah, I'm excited. Certainly the ability to win the Commander-in-Chief's trophy really changes this season's trajectory for Army.
And let me ask you, to kind of bring it back to, the spirit of the game. And Connor, I talked to you about this actually last year on my podcast. I had you on right before the game and we talked about your final game. And, and I make fun of you and I'm, messing with you now, but like one of the things I had asked you was like, what were the emotions like that? Like, you didn't have a successful career against Navy when you were playing football. Like that last game, standing there, singing first and like what that felt like. I mean, I think that's like speak to that a little bit because I love the way you talked about it when we were talking about it,
Yes, I think, the finality of that, it's a game that I had played since I was 8 years old and just so many things hit you at once.
What was, not to interrupt you, but what was the score of that game, your senior year?
God, I don't even really remember. I think it was like 34-18 or what. Actually, I got it pulled up right here.
And what year was that?
42-23, 2005.
Okay.
42-23. We came out, I want to say we came out to a lead too early in the game. Like early in the game, it was tight. And, then they pulled away. I forget who you guys had. This is me just showing my age and just not remembering guys' names and such, but they pulled away.
Where was it?
Philly.
Yeah.
No, but like it's the finality of, all right, I'm never going to play football ever again because football is not a sport. It's not golf. It's not basketball where like you can continue to play it, after you leave college and recreational leagues. There's not really many guys that play rec football in full pads. So you're never going to play football again. I never beat Navy. And it's like, that's it, dude. You don't get another shot at this, not as a player. And as much as the Army football program, I live and die, and I feel as though their success is my success to a much lesser extent. Like I feel rewarded by that. It's not the same level, not even close to the same level that those players feel. Like, I see guys from the younger generation or even some older guys from older generations, and they wear their letter sweaters and just like Navy does, like, you get the stars for beating Air Force and Navy, and these guys' sweaters are littered with stars. And I have one silver star and like stupid shit like that. And again, I can't change that no matter what, no matter how much I pray, no matter what I want, I can't change that. So, having beaten Air Force earlier that year, knowing that if we had beaten Navy my senior year, we'd have went to the White House. We were talking to players the night before the game and, like getting pumped up and like we were playing well at that point in the season, and we felt like we had a chance to beat them. And then that just all came crumbling down, and it was just a weight that I had never felt before in any sport that I had ever played before in my life. So that's difficult. And there's going to be guys on Saturday that they're going to have that same exact feeling, that something you've done, and it's not just, hey, I played football for 14 years, especially once you get to college. I've poured 12 months of the year into this. It's balancing the ridiculous course load at West Point and Navy, and then going up to practice, and then working out after practice and watching film. It's the summer workouts together. It's all this time spent with these guys. And don't get me wrong, like I still see my teammates, but it's not every day. It used to be every day. 4 years, you'd see these guys, and then that's over. So it's just all of these things that come crashing down on one day. And I just think it's a lot for any person to process, much less a 21, 22-year-old kid who's not very emotionally developed. I think if I, relived all of that now at 41, I'd probably be able to process it a little bit better. But at 21, I was just crushed. My whole world, because football was my world, right? I'm 21 at this time, and I've been playing since I was 8. So it's the majority of my life. So, hey, this chunk of your life that you devoted time, blood, sweat, tears, emotion, done.
Yeah.
It's tough.
And we had Iraq and Afghanistan on the periphery too. So like,
not so much though, Rob. I'm going to be honest with you. Not so much. Like, so, Afghanistan 01, we roll into Iraq 03. We started to feel like, all right, those things are still going on. But it wasn't like we graduated and like knew for sure, like, okay, we weren't in the rotations yet where it was like, dude, you get to a unit, you're deploying. It was almost
in
there.
2005, really?
No, it's still it didn't feel like it was as imminent. There was still maybe a little part of you that thought like, all right, this might not be still going on in 18 months when it's time for me to get deployed. But sure enough, it was. So,
yeah. I mean, I always think about like, I think about Army Navy from the perspective of, and again, that's why I come at it. I don't want to say from a different place than you, because you're coming at it from a football player, and like you talk about playing football from like it's. I get ending a sport you played all your life. I played college sport. Like I get so I don't have that perspective on this game, but I was going to this game when my brother was a midshipman, right? Yeah. So I have that, and then in fact, one of the last things I did with Travis was go to Army Navy in 2006, December of 2006. And he left for Iraq on December 26th of 2006. Like 2 weeks later, he left for Iraq and didn't come back. So a lot of his friends that he served with and went to Navy with, like I have pictures from that game, and we were, all together tailgating, and that the Travis Manning Foundation tailgate, like it's huge now, but that tailgate, and that's why I love, like, that tailgate was originally started by my dad and Alex Gorski, who was a West Point grad. And it was the two of them who did, and they would call it the only Army Navy tailgate, because it was a Navy family and an Army family that were like throwing this tailgate together. So I have a lot of like emotion from that perspective tied to this game. And now, of course, having a child that's, a midshipman. So it's like, it's very meaningful to me in that way.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll say too, probably why I'm so emotional and maybe defensive about it, especially like when people, it's like that have zero affiliation with Navy or didn't play a sport. It's a different experience at the academies when you have to balance a sport, and especially football because of the stage on which it's played. So when some sluggo Navy midshipman who never played a sport is like coming at me, it's almost as if I want to scream, like, you don't get it.
Mhm.
You don't get, like, this is your school, my school, got it, but you don't get it. Again, you weren't having to do all that extra stuff that, we all had to endure, both on the Army side and the Navy side. And that's why, like, Ryan, you've seen me around Navy football players. Like, right away am connected to them, and I talk to them, and I'm cool with them because I'm like, okay, you get it. Maybe not the summer training part, because I think Army's a little harder, but I'm joking. But it's different. So I'm not trying to like gatekeep the rivalry, because again, it touches so many people in different ways. I just feel an immense amount of emotion with this game. And that's the other reason. I would love just 1 year if we just like blew you guys out, like, and it was never close, because I have such a knot in my stomach the whole game. Like, it's like I almost like don't want to be there watching the game.
You are very like, and that I will say, I'm gonna have a good time no matter what. Obviously, I want Navy to win. Like, I am. Connor sits down and he is laser focused in on that game. Yeah, and it is a different experience for you.
I'll tell you here. This frames it perfectly. Last year, one of the people on the President Trump's team told me, like, hey, can you come to President Trump's suite now? And I was with somebody else at the president, but it's like, can you come to the suite right now? I'm like, no, I can't, because the game wasn't going well for Army. So I couldn't compartmentalize. So I passed on meeting the president of the United States because the game wasn't going well and I wasn't in a good mood.
I respect it. It's only this game. You wouldn't find that at any other game.
Yeah.
So
well said, Connor.
Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, that's Army Navy. I'm excited as always.
Yes.
As always. And then I will also say sorry. And we're kind of like just going all over the map here. As grads and as people like you, Ryan, who go every year, there's an aspect of it where there's a lot of people who go every year who you don't talk to or see any other time of the year, but like, oh, I'm going to see you at Army Navy, and that's fun. And then it's the people that randomly show up and you're like, oh, you're here this year. This is great. So you always see people that you get happy. So that's why actually like Friday night arguably is more fun, because there's no pressure of the game and it's just being around people that you love and you want to spend time with, and it's fun and there's no pressure. And then we get to Saturday. I'm like, all right. I don't want to talk to anybody. I'd rather just go watch the game and not talk to anyone and stand on the sideline by myself.
I have a game day related question, kind of like away from the emotional. Kind of like, what do you guys wear knowing the weather report? It's going to be chilly. It's going to be breezy.
It's going to be very
Ryan, I'll start with you. What do you wear? Not to the tailgate, but what do you wear to the game? Like, how are you fitted up? And then Cons, if you don't mind answering.
Well, I mean, I always wear Travis's leather sweater to the game. Nice. So that's super warm. And then I wear a jacket. And
he's a wrestler, right? He wrestled.
He was a wrestler. He has 3 stars on his sweater.
Oh shit.
Just
what was his weight class?
189.
Oh, he was a big boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I don't do the whole like crazy. I mean, listen, I'm lucky enough and to be able to sit inside during the game. So
yeah, I was like, I don't want to sound like a snob, but there are years where I'm like, I'm not too concerned. I'm
yeah.
It's going to be very cold. Luxury. Yeah, we had a fantastic group that that gave me seats, so I'll be sitting inside and but listen, it's good. I've sat many years outside, and you just you put the hand warmers in and you wear leggings underneath your pants, and I mean there are years that I've gone. I forget the one year I went and I was in full like snowsuit
Mhm.
Because
2017.
well, it wasn't snowing the year I remember wearing that. 2017
okay.
was like, but yeah, like you wear what you can to survive. I don't know. I always feel like in those games, I say this as someone sitting inside, but like being in the cold, like it's going to be very cold at this game. I was looking at it today and it's like a low of 20, but it said it's going to feel like 12 because of the wind.
Oh,
Yeah, this is going to be one of the coldest games in a long time. And we have been very, very lucky in the past several years. Like
It's
last
been, like,
year was
mild.
last year
Yeah.
last year I was literally walking around at the tailgate and I took my jacket off. I'm like, it's
Yeah.
too hot. I was walking around in a sweater.
Yeah.
So I think we're due for a cold one, so bundle up. I mean,
Mhm.
that's what makes
Mhm.
it fun,
Yeah, I would say I always go fashion over function, but then there are years where like it's
This is
super
true.
cold and you're like, all right, hold on, I got to bundle. I got to be prepared because I don't care what I look like. I got to be warm.
Right.
But I remember I sat in the end zone for the 2017 game in that snow, and actually, Rob, I brought my gray blanket. And
Nice.
I like put that over myself. So I was there with a blanket, just getting pelted with the snow. And I'm actually really happy for 2017. I have that memory that I sat outside for that one, just because, like, looking up and seeing the snow, and then enduring that
Yep.
for that game, and you almost like wear it like a badge of honor versus like if I was just like prim and proper sitting in a suite. So
No, that's good.
Why? What do you wear, Rob?
I mean, I'm rocking this wool ass fucking jacket on Saturday, and then some of the newer merch. I always try to like color code with the team. This is just like fashion.
Oh, I get it.
I try to match the team. If the team isn't all black, like even at FAU last season, I wore all black, even though it was like 100 degrees and sunny. Like I just try to, I don't know. That's just been my thing.
Yeah. And then, you've got a big after party that you're throwing afterwards. And, my question though is like, this is just a scenario here. Army loses. Does that after party look any different?
Last year we lost. I still had 500 people.
I was not one of them.
I was just
He's
going to
not.
say,
I
Connor, did you
actually
show up?
called Connor. too.
Connor, do you show up to Rob's after party if Army loses on Saturday?
I don't think he does.
No.
He's the
No,
only one who does it.
No,
Rob.
I go back to where I'm staying. I get my car and I go home.
So the rest of your night will be dependent on like if Army doesn't
Connor's
win,
one of those guys.
you don't.
I don't have it in me.
He will
I don't
go.
have it,
He'll
like,
go
I don't
dark
wanna,
like comms too, Ryan. He won't get back to anyone for like 4 days.
Rob, I'll be at your party on Saturday night.
I'll see you there, homie. I always have,
there.
like this sounds fucked up, but like the Soldier of the Fallen played at galas and stuff. I always have something like that for Connor, even if we lose. I have a ticket to my after party for Mr. Connor and his plus ones of his crew all time. I think Connor, you went to 2017 or 16 to my after party, and I think we won, so it was amazing. And then I think Connor bailed. Every after party I've had where we lost, Connor just he's MIA. he's gone.
I'm on a good mood. Like what you don't. Yeah. It's not fun for anybody because I'm gonna be like sad sack Sally in the corner. And it's like, oh, what's wrong with him? And I'm bringing the mood down.
Everybody's happy to see each other, but I am guaranteed if we do win the CIC, it'll be at the party. So
there you go. We win, I'll be there.
Yeah, Ryan,
No
you can hold the CIC trophy when we're celebrating with it. I'll let you do that.
Okay. I mean,
you said go Army.
I think I am seriously trying to figure out how I'd walk that back right now because I already can envision what's going to happen with that. And I was distracted when I said that. And there's nothing I regret that I've said more in the last 12 months than that statement right there. So that's where I am.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. All right. Well, I think that's all there has to be said.
Yeah.
I am
start hydrating, boys and girls.
Hydrate, dress properly, dress for the weather. I mean, this goes without saying. Wear more layers than you think you need. You always take something off.
Yeah.
You don't want to be cold.
And if you forgot something, Travis Manning Foundation will be selling lots of sweet
Nice.
Army and Navy gear at our tailgate.
What do you what's like your go-to if I had to pick something up? Like, do you have scarves?
Well, my favorite, yeah, we do have scarves. We have really
Ooh.
cool scarves.
Oh,
But my favorite piece of merchandise that we have this year is a TMF sweatshirt, and then on the back it says "Never lost a tailgate." It's a moment
There
of
you go.
that's
jubilation.
good.
Yeah. So
I'll
neither
give
of us have ever lost a tailgate.
There you
So
go.
Ryan, one more question for you. Are you so busy? It's like when I'm at my after party, it's so nuts, but I still find time to check my phone here and there and talk to everybody. Are you like VIP? Like if I text you like, hey, I want to see you, will I be able to hear back from you, or do I have to find you at your tailgate? What's like, I want to do what's easiest for you. I don't want to be like
She's easy to spot. She's
That's
running
true.
around like a maniac, but she's
That's
easy to
true.
spot.
Yeah. All right.
You'll see
Rob,
her.
when you text me on Saturday, I'm gonna be like, "Where you at?" So
Okay, sick.
All right, well, that's it. That's gonna do it. No caveats. I think we've hit on everything. I'm not gonna say I hope both teams have fun because I don't.
Don't do that.
I don't want both. I want Navy to have a bad day. I want Navy to be miserable, and I want Army to be victorious. And Army's gonna be victorious. So, with that, take care. Make it a great week. Beat Navy.
beat Army.
Be Navy.